Hello everyone, Miss Carrie here from Miss Carrie's Creations. Today I'm collaborating with scrapbook.com and showing you how to create this adorable little Easter mini tag album using some spring dies that you might have in your collection. The supplies for this mini album are very simple and include some cardstock, dies, and pattern paper. I'm going to be using some bright spring colors from the Sherbet collection. I'm also using slimline cardstock for this book because it's just the right size for the tags. And I've grabbed some floral cardstock to cut out my spring flowers. The album is going to be built from some tags, which I've already cut out from the 2 cardstock packs using these nested tag dies. I like how the whole portion of this die is separate from the actual tag die. This allows me to choose to create tags with or without the hole at the top. The floral pieces in this album are going to be created using this boho bouquet collection, which is a very versatile collection of flowers and leaves. I'm going to be adding a few pockets to this mini album, and I'll be creating those with a library pocket die. I'll be adding a few additional items to this Easter album, and I'll make sure to add those to the list of supplies in the description below. Before we start assembling the pages, I want to show you how this nested tag die works. The collection comes with 10 tags and 4 top holes. The hole portion nestles right into the top of the tag. I like to use some mint tape to hold this in place so that it doesn't shift while I'm cutting it out. My sandwich consists of a magic mat, 2 pieces of cardstock, and a top plate. This allows me to cut out 2 tags at a time, making this part of the process go a lot quicker. I have already cut out a few of these from the 2 cardstock packs in a variety of colors. Mine are very bright and spring related, but you can choose any color of cardstock that fits the theme of your album. The first page I'm going to create is the front cover. With my sewing machine, I have stitched a little border at the base of the tag, and I've stitched a frame around the smaller blue tag and white cardstock rectangle. Because mini albums are very personalized, I'm not going to show you how to create every page, but I am going to show some of the assembly process as I share some tips for creating this album. At the end of the video, there will be photos of each of the pages and in my scrapbook.com gallery for you to save or pin to your favorite inspiration boards. In the lower right corner, I'm stamping the words Easter Day in black, and then I'll layer this onto the front using some foam tape. On the left side, I'm going to create a layer of flowers and leaves to give this a bright spring feel. I don't know about you, but I have a bit of spring fever right now as the snow is still sitting in my front yard, and I need a little bit of brightness in my craft room today. Where I live, moisture in the form of rain or snow is always needed, and this year we've been blessed with plenty of it, but I am starting to long for warmer days of spring and a few flowers in my front yard. The little floral dies I'm using can be layered in a variety of ways. I chose to create a tulip-like flower in peach and pink and layered the 2 images together to give this some dimension. I also layered the smaller daisy-like flower to make it look like forget-me-nots. I did not add any ink to these or distressing, I just used them as is to create a lovely simple bouquet. After I add those centers to the flowers, this page is complete. The next page is going to have one of those little library pockets with a photo tucked inside. The pocket was cut from some floral pattern paper, and I'm quickly assembling it using a little double-sided tape. The die creates the score lines needed to make the pocket, so all you need to do is fold on the score lines and use a little adhesive on the tabs to adhere this together, and you have a nice little pocket. The die set comes with the pocket, a card, and some tabs, which I have used quite a bit in this album. I matted most of my photos using that library card die because it was the perfect size to layer over the top of the tags. The card fits snugly in the pocket, so you don't have to worry about it falling out of your album. I chose to add the florals on this page on top of the printed florals on the pocket. I cut a mix of green cardstock leaves, a few more tulip pieces, and a little daisy with a blue center. When you are creating this album, you will need to plan ahead a bit so that you can place the items on the back of the previous tag page. I planned out most of my pages on smaller colorful tags and arranged them in order before I attached them to the larger white tags. This gave me a little bit of freedom to create without having to do too much pre-planning. Once my florals were in place, I added a little tab at the top and stamped a sentiment that says special moments. Mini albums are a great place to use your little stamped and sticker phrases. When I was finished assembling this tag, I decided that it needed a little bit more color, so I placed that pocket onto a smaller coral colored tag and added a stitched butterfly. Now I'm going to work on the opposite page. I chose a pocket in the same color as the pattern paper behind the photo on the opposite page. This brings a little cohesiveness to the two pages and makes it look like a two-page design. Inside the pocket, I have a 2x3 photo on a soft peach color. This is the same peach color as the tulips on the opposite page, and it matches well with the coral and orange that I have on these two tags. On the back of this, there is just enough room for journaling, which is always a great thing to have in your albums. I am tucking a few little leaves behind the tag in the upper right corner, and I'm going to add a layered daisy-like flower. These floral pieces were cut using the dies in that boho collection. I just added some foam tape between the layers and stacked them all together to form a three-dimensional flower. If you want less bulk in your mini album, you can skip the foam tape or use less layers on your flower. As I finish assembling this daisy, I would love it if you tapped that subscribe button or hit that thumbs up icon if you're enjoying today's project. I'd also like to know in the comments if mini albums are something that you have created in the past, or if this is a project that you'd like to try. When you go to add a larger flower like this to your album, just make sure that you are not preventing that photo from coming out of the pocket. I almost made that mistake here. On the next set of pages, I'm going to use a fun blue polka dot pocket and some coral colors. On every tag, I have added stitching around the sides, and I have added a stitched border at the base of the white tags. The florals on these pages are simple. I'm tucking leaves behind the 2-inch photo, and then I'll tuck a card into the pocket. To make the pages look like they belong together, I brought some of that blue polka dot to the other page under the stamped sentiment. That "you did it" sentiment was perfect for this photo of her cousins helping her get the egg out of the tree. I'm also going to be adding a pink heart tab on the left page to match the pink in the tulips, and a peach butterfly to match the peach and coral colors. Adding little bits of white stitching, white florals, and the white tab helps to break up all these bright colors. Now I have the last 2 pages and a set of smaller tags that I created. These little filler tags are always fun to add to your mini albums. On the left side of the layout, I stamped the word happy and layered some white, blue, and coral colors onto the page. On the opposite page, I have a soft peach tag that I'm building the layers onto. Once again, the leaves are being tucked under the photo. I'm also adding some tulips and blue forget-me-nots to match the other florals in the album. On this page, I'm also going to add a little pink heart tab next to the photo with a stamped sentiment that says memories. When you read the two sentiments together, this is going to say happy memories, which is a great final sentiment for the album. Off camera, I assembled the album onto a little ring and added some ribbon. You can also add some charms or beads if you wish. Just make sure there's enough room for those pages to move. As I flip through the pages, you're going to be able to see how I brought in the items from one page over to the opposite side to give this a more cohesive feel. I also brought in more white with details on the flowers. These were created with a gel pen and they just add a little bit of whimsy to this design. There are so many more pages that I could add, but I didn't have that many photos from this Easter, so a mini album was the perfect project to record these details, and it's going to be a great gift to give. I'm going to share a few photos of this mini album so that you can see all the fun details. Using the nested tags to create a mini album is just a simple way you can record some holiday memories. Mine records the memories of Easter with bright pattern papers and boho florals, but you can easily change the design to match the holiday memories you want to record. I like how the pockets in this album also leave room for the story. That's always an important part of the album, and you're going to want to make sure to record that for others to read. If you are one who likes to pin photos to inspiration boards, I have added still shots of this project in my scrapbook.com gallery and on my website for you to use. Both of those links can be found in the description below. If you have any questions about this project or the supplies I used, feel free to leave me a comment. I hope that you have a wonderful week, and I can't wait to see what you create.